Ananse and the Stolen Wisdom. A long time ago, in a small village in West Africa, there lived a man called Ananse. He was known for his cleverness, but even more for his lies and trickery. He could talk his way out of any situation and deceive even the wisest elders. One day, Ananse overheard the village chief talking about a hidden pot of wisdom. It was said that whoever possessed it would be the smartest and most powerful person in the land. Greedy as he was, Ananse decided that he must have it all for himself. That night, he sneaked into the chief's hut and stole the pot of wisdom. As he held it, the pot whispered to him, "Wisdom is meant to be shared, not stolen." But Ananse ignored it. He thought to himself, "If I keep all the wisdom to myself, I will become the greatest man in the world." So he decided to hide the pot where no one could reach it. Ananse climbed the tallest tree in the forest, carrying the pot of wisdom tied to his belly. But as he struggled to climb, his little son, Ntikuma, watched him from below and laughed. "Father, why don't you tie the pot to your back instead of your belly? That way, you can climb easier." Ananse froze. How could a little boy know something he hadn't thought of? He got so angry that he dropped the pot by accident. The pot fell to the ground and shattered, spilling all the wisdom into the wind. It spread to every corner of the world. And that is why, to this day, wisdom is found in many places, and no one person has all of it. As for Ananse, he was left with nothing but his lies and deceit, and the shame of being outwitted by his own son. Ananse, now trapped in his spider form, was furious. He had once been a great trickster, fooling men and chiefs, but now he was nothing more than a tiny creature crawling in the shadows. He swore that if he could not rule as a man, he would rule the world as a spider. Determined to prove he was still the cleverest being alive, Ananse set his sights on tricking Niam, the sky god. Niam had once granted him human wisdom, but now, Ananse wanted revenge for his curse. One day, Ananse climbed to the highest tree in the forest and spun a golden web that stretched all the way to the heavens. He would trick Niam into lifting his curse. When he arrived at the sky god's palace, Niam was amused. "Ananse," he said, "even in your new form, you are still full of tricks. What do you want now?" Ananse bowed low and spoke in his smoothest voice. "O great Niam, I come with an offer. You rule the sky, but I have gathered all the stories of the earth. If you wish to know them, you must remove my curse." Niam stroked his beard. He loved stories and wisdom, but he also knew Ananse could not be trusted. So he said, "If you truly hold all the stories of the world, prove it. Tell me the greatest tale I have never heard before." Ananse grinned. He had the perfect plan. He wove a story so grand, so clever, and so filled with mystery that even Niam, the keeper of knowledge, was enchanted. The tale spoke of gods and men, of battles and love, of secrets and betrayal. As Ananse spun his words like silk, Niam leaned forward, listening intently. But just as Ananse reached the most exciting part of the story, he stopped speaking. Niam sat up. "Go on. Finish the tale." Ananse bowed his tiny spider head. "I cannot, great Niam. For you see, my curse has made me weak. If I were a man again, I could finish the story for you." Niam chuckled. "You are clever, Ananse, but not clever enough. You cannot trick a god." However, Niam was so impressed by the story that he decided to give Ananse a small gift. He did not remove the curse, but he granted Ananse the ability to weave his own stories into beautiful webs. And so, Ananse returned to Earth, still a spider, but now a master weaver, telling his stories through the patterns of his webs. Even today, when you see a spider spinning its web, know that it is Ananse, the trickster, still trying to tell the greatest story ever told. Ananse, though still trapped in his spider form, was not satisfied. He had tricked men, stolen wisdom, and even challenged the gods, but he had never won his freedom. Deep inside, he still longed to be a man again. One night, as he sat weaving his webs under the great baobab tree, he overheard a group of spirits talking. These spirits were messengers of Ananse, the earth goddess, and they carried a secret. "The goddess is weak," whispered one spirit. "Her golden calabash of life has cracked, and soon the land will wither." "Indeed," said another. "If it shatters completely, all things will perish, even our spirits." Ananse's 8 legs tingled with excitement. If he could steal the golden calabash and offer it back to Ananse, she might grant him his human form again. The heist of the golden calabash. Under the cover of darkness, Ananse spun an invisible thread and followed the spirits to a hidden cave deep within the forest. Inside, he saw it, the golden calabash, glowing like the sun. But it was guarded by 3 fierce creatures. 1. The fire serpent, whose breath could burn anything. 2. The stone elephant, whose skin was harder than iron. 3. The silent leopard, who moved so fast no one ever saw it coming. But Ananse was not afraid, he was the master of deception. First, he spun a web of mist around the fire serpent's eyes, blinding it so it could not burn him. Then, he whispered a song of fear into the stone elephant's ear, making it believe a greater beast was coming. The elephant panicked and ran away. Lastly, he placed a shadow trap for the silent leopard, tricking it into pouncing on its own reflection. With the guardians gone, Ananse snatched the golden calabash and fled into the night. The trick that changed everything. Ananse brought the calabash to Ananse, bowing before her. "O great mother of the earth," he said, "I have saved your life. Will you not reward me?" The goddess smiled. "You are clever, Ananse, but do you deserve to be a man again?" Ananse thought quickly. "Of course. Have I not just done a great deed? Do I not deserve to be honored?" Ananse narrowed her eyes. "And if I make you a man again, will you stop your lies and tricks?" Ananse hesitated. To never trick again. That was impossible. The goddess saw the truth in his silence. She sighed and said, "Then I cannot change you back." But before Ananse could protest, she lifted the golden calabash and poured its magic upon the land. The trees grew greener, rivers flowed stronger, and the earth flourished once more. Ananse watched, feeling something new, pride. For the first time, he had used his tricks to save, not to deceive. The legacy of Ananse. Though he remained a spider, Ananse was no longer just a trickster, he had become a keeper of wisdom. From that day on, he used his web spinning to teach lessons, weaving the stories of the world into every silk thread. And so, even today, when you see a spider weaving its web, remember, it is Ananse.